Hey YouTube, Brian LCS. Welcome to the Amazing Spider-Man number 19 review. There are going to be spoilers ahead, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to tune away. If not, let's jump into the story. So this is the first issue after the Dark Web storyline finished up, and we have guest writer Joe Kelly and penciler Terry Dodson. And we see here where they're saying, you know, Peter's life was back on track until Clone Chasm came along to take a shot at him. Now that Spidey has unwoven Chasm's dark web, he can get back to his normal life. You know, normal like when your long-term girlfriend is mysteriously married with kids, or working for your former arch enemy who's tortured you and killed those you love for years, or dating the world's greatest cat burglar. A normal life, back on track. So we jump in, and Spider-Man and Black Cat are out fighting crime together, and kind of where we left off before the Dark Web storyline picked up. And they're out beating down some goons. And then they're having a little, moment sipping hot chocolate up on a rooftop. And then Felicia makes some plans, or says, hey, let's get away for the weekend. Now that things are, semi back to normal, let's get away and go upstate and to a spa. And so, and she makes it kind of like a romantic, getaway. That makes at least the way she makes it sound. And so we cut to them, driving, obviously in the winter in a convertible. And, Felicia looks like she's, having a good time. And we see a little, flashback here where, Peter's telling Aunt May that he's off to a engineering convention. And she basically says, hey, have a great time with Felicia. So he's a little surprised. So you can't pull the wool over Aunt May's eyes. And so Felicia's driving in this convertible in the middle of winter, obviously showing a little bit of her, crazy side, adventurous side. And so we cut to now the spa, and lo and behold, Mary Jane and her boyfriend or husband, whoever it really is, we haven't really gotten the full details on it, happened to be at the spa too. And so, and Mary Jane, Black Cat and the boyfriend kind of, trying to figure out how this happened. And so, snapshot coupons. So basically, I guess they had a deal on this getaway, and they both happened to take it up. And that's how they ended up together. And so there's this little bit of banter, this little bit of play back and forth between Black Cat, Mary Jane, and Peter, basically, trying to feel out whether, Peter still has feelings for Mary Jane. And, there was some stalking going on early on, Peter following Mary Jane around. And so, there's this kind of back and forth, and we see that Peter's wearing some novelty boxers with cats on them. Obviously, Black Cat provided. But then there was a big rumble, and Black Cat and Peter, Felicia and Peter, kind of jump into action. And then Mary Jane and her, boyfriend say, kind of, asking if MJ's okay. And she says, yeah, she's fine. So just a random encounter. And then we see Black Cat and Spider-Man out in the, they're upstate New York at the spa. So they're kind of out in the woods a little bit. And so they're investigating what's going on. And in comes White Rabbit. So we saw White Rabbit in the beginning of this current run of Spider-Man. She was working with Tombstone and part of the early story of this series. And so it looks like she's out with a bunch of the, rogue gallery of Spider-Man villains there, some Sinister Six almost. When we see, them out, almost looks like they're, practicing or running some maneuvers here, and we see Mysterio grab White Rabbit. And then Peter jumps in to stop this. And we basically, come to find out that White Rabbit has borrowed some tech from Tombstone and is running kind of a little bit of a side gig here. And she's using this tech to bring people in that are, paying her to, basically live the life of a supervillain. And so kind of a little bit of a, war games going on. And so, once Black Cat and Peter or Spider-Man realize that it's, kind of nothing going on here, that they're just, White Rabbit is trying to make some money, basically. So we find out that, they basically, Tombstone doesn't know anything about this. They've basically stolen this tech, and, if people pay them, then they can come up and, get the use of this technology and basically live the life of a villain. And so there's this kind of back and forth, and they're just trying to kind of figure everything out. And then we see one of the participants run in screaming. And so we know we've got a problem. And we find that one of the paying customers is now dead. And so, this is a problem, right? Now we've got a murder on our hands. It almost feels like a Clue, whodunit type thing. And then they mention, hey, we need to, use the kill switches on the tech that you gave the other participants. And they're basically saying, hey, look, we're not going to jail, kill switches off, we're gonna basically defend ourselves. And then White Rabbit is basically saying, Peter asked, Spider-Man asked, installed kill switches, right? And then she said, wouldn't you be surprised to learn that I can't even turn on my phone properly? And so that's where the issue leaves off. So we've got this problem on our hands, right? White Rabbit's got this tech. It's in the hands of some, people, and there's been a murder. So what the heck is going on? So, right, Peter and Felicia thought they were going to get a getaway this weekend. They first run into MJ and her boyfriend, and now they're dealing with this, this mess of, this cleanup now that they have to deal with White Rabbit. So overall, but, a pretty good story. Obviously a different direction, a different break, a break from the whole dark web and all the different tie-ins and everything. So just kind of a basic straight story. I do find it funny that there's these, coincidences that they run into MJ and the boyfriend. I almost feel like maybe that was planned. Does take place after the Mary Jane and Black Cat miniseries, and so I don't know what the conclusion was there. I mean, maybe Felicia and Mary Jane are working together to kind of see where Peter stands. Is he still in love with MJ, or is he finally over her and, ready to move forward? So who knows? I think we'll find that out later on. But what we have is, overall a pretty good story. Like I said, a break from dark web. This is, I think, a 2-part series, so it'll wrap up in issue 20, this small little story arc with the guest writer and artist. So overall, I'm going to go somewhere right in the middle. No, I'll go 3. I'll go 3 webheads on this out of a total of 5. Overall, not a bad story and a good break from the dark web storyline. And that's it. So let me know what you think. If you're reading this, what do you think of the story? What did you think of the review? Do you think it's Black Cat and MJ are trying to, figure out where Peter's heart lies? Or, was it truly just a coincidence that they ran into each other at the spa? So, but yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. And we'll see you for issue 20. Shortly. I think issue 20 comes out actually today. And I have a few other Spidey titles that I will be reviewing in the next couple days. So just trying to do a little bit of catch up on my reviews. So hope you enjoy these. Let me know down in the comments. We'll see you soon.